Welcome to Of Darkness and Light. This is Daphne Garrido. Please excuse the fireworks. I have the unfortunate disadvantage of living in the greater Seattle area, and apparently the fucking sports ball has been successful. And I cannot handle it. I do not want them to win ever because people are idiots for football. It's just stupid. I have episodes of my earliest days where I went off on American football, and I'm not going to do the rabbit hole. It's just really good, heroic men being exploited by capitalism to exploit people, to exploit people, to exploit people, for the richest men to hold on to power and to burn oil. And to take something that's fun but dangerous and full of extreme levels of cognitive dissonance regarding the way people vilify their opponents and the way that injuries are lauded by the fans when it's not their team is horrendous. And then the pretend that it's sad when people actually die. It is sad. It's terribly sad. The whole thing's sad, dude. It's like if we're going to have a gladiator sport where people can die, let's honor that in a way that's not horrendously capitalistic, in my mind. But did you see the commercials, dude? I just watched for the commercials. Anyways, that was my intro. We're going to talk about polyamorous culture from my experience here in Seattle. I came out as a trans woman, and there was a period of time before my ex and I separated where we considered the potential of sticking together and exploring polyamory as a solution. And I'm just going to say outright, that would have been the greatest mistake of my life, even if there was some kind of accord to have set. Because basically that's saying like, hey, I'm kind of done with you as a romantic partner, but I'm going to stick with you as my life partner and resent you, and then kind of just go exploit people sexually and resent them for how I want to go do stuff with them more often, but I can't because I'm still with my life partner who I have to balance. So then I'm just going to start exploiting everybody, and I'm just going to turn into a weird sex magnet that has like a funky garage space. And to be clear, my experiences with poly people were, I dated a few, and I slept with a couple. I slept with a couple, and I tried an actual relationship with one. The actual relationship, they gutted me, gaslit me, ripped my guts out. We were going kind of fast, but it was just like, whoa, dude, this is kind of working. They were trans mask. They had lived fully trans man for a while, and it had gone very poorly because they'd never had surgery. And this is people just see breasts and they're like, hey, dude, that's a lady. And they just like assume that trans men in that kind of persona, especially this person who's already kind of like a rough-edged person who has like tattoos on their neck and stuff. They're so pretty though. They're just like such a beautiful, soft-hearted person that just has had a rough life and is just like really, really fiery. But yeah, they have like such a masculine edge to their personality. I really like them. But we only saw each other like a handful of times. but it got going fast, and we're like, hey, you want to get out of town? And I needed to get out of town on like a vacation so bad. I still do, still haven't been on one. But yeah, we planned it, I bought it. I was gonna run out of town to do it, and they canceled on me the night before, and it totally had to do with their insecure husband, which I was like, cool, this is the perfect poly situation. They're married, but I'm the exciting thing. That's all I want to be. I want to be the thing that is like the romantic focus. It's like they got a kind of boring life partnership. But that's a problem when the boring life partner is like, yeah, like they had to cancel when they're like, I need to have a date with my husband. And it's just like, dude, you're not taking care of your marriage, and so you're just like wrecking people. And they were an asexual person. And that's when I realized I was fucking here for it. I was like, dude, we can just like snuggle. And I'm like, I'm good, dude. Snuggle and kiss, and I'm set, dude. I'm all in for whatever, dude. I'm a sick cookie. I'm not a sick cookie. I'm a kinky girl, and that's hot. That's cool. And people just can't really admit it when they're not in like, yeah, in that culture, right? That culture of like the really gross. That's the thing too. Is like I hate the kind of like S&M culture. They make it so disgusting. It's like, dude, sometimes people like being in control in like a power play, and it's hot. Some people like that a lot. You don't have to make it into a thing where it devalues somebody as a human, right? It's just like, we're swerving a little bit, but the point is that's what poly people are doing as well, is they're devaluing people as humans. They're devaluing human relationship, and they're often doing it in a way that is completely full of a cognitive dissonance infection of their own self-grandeur as wonderful people who aren't doing exactly what they're doing, which is just being exploitive manipulators of people and telling a tale about their I'm poly being some kind of innate virtue. And it's like, dude, this is the confusion. I consider myself to be a poly heart. It's like, I love people. I love people romantically. I cannot stop my heart from loving people romantically, even when I'm in a romantic relationship. I'm honest. That's poly. If you can love multiple people romantically at once, you have a poly heart. How do we hold that? By acknowledging the hierarchy that actually exists in our heart when it comes to love, and living in honor of that. And so when poly people, like the one who destroyed my heart, have it all messed up, where they're giving all their power of their relationship, yeah, it's like there's a clear hierarchical champion of that person's life, which is their husband in terms of relationships. But to their heart, it's like the opposite. It's like the total opposite. That's what doesn't make sense to me. It's like, I'm the kind of person where it's like, when my heart sings and screams, the louder it sings and screams, the less I care about the superficiality. I'm like, dude, we'll figure it out. It's like, this is what matters. Because I believe in that. But it's like we live in an upside down, backwards, superficial world where what our hearts are telling us has been trained to like not be heard straight up. We like, when people make our hearts feel things, we call them like emotionally manipulative. We're like, are you being emotionally manipulative trying to make me feel something right now? And it's bizarre because we call people who are honest about their emotions emotionally manipulative. And then it's like, dude, I'm manipulating every single thing I say for getting the responses I actually want out of people, and like feathering it and working it. This isn't me. This is the person who just called me emotionally manipulative. But you just came at me with strong feelings that are honest. That's emotional manipulation, right? That's the attitude of abusers all over the place. And that extends into polyculture in how they disregard the truth of how things should be honored. And it's just like, I think the root of what is actually virtuous of properly done polyamory is loving without possession in the ways that are appropriate to your heart. And so I've met people where I'm like, I could have a perfect relationship with you and I could not care at all about what you do with other people as long as I'm the snuggle bud, as long as I'm the one who has your heart, because that's how it would work. And I've met other people where I'm just like, no, if for you with me, it would just be two. Like it's just like, that's how it would work. I just would have to have you. It's just different for everybody because the love is different, right? And then there's other people where it's just like, dude, I don't need anything else, but I'm here for whatever, dude. I don't care. Like I'm that person too, where it's like, I'm poly in a way where it's like, dude, there's some people who would be like, oh my gosh, if I entered a open relationship situation with the person I'm with, I would need to keep it so even. And then I'd like fall behind and then I'd feel bad. And it's like that you should not be doing that if that's the attitude you have. It's like the person who should enter a poly relationship is somebody who could be the one who never gets laid, who doesn't care that the other person's getting laid all the time. If the honoring of hearts is correct. And it's just like people have to be honest about what they feel and they have to create relationships based off of that. There's a significant part of me that wonders deeply why we do not accept thruples as like a civilizational thing or more. It's like, I understand that there is a history of like really horrendously abusive, like Mormon split off cults that did really patriarchal, disgusting things with what is it called? Polygamy, right? But it's like, but in my brain, I'm like, what if that works for people, dude? Like, what if it works for people and it's not like, it doesn't have minors and grooming involved? What if it's just people who are like, yo, I like having like 3 sisters that we don't care. We just share this dude. Or the opposite, where it's just like, dude, we're hanging out. That's the matriarch, dude. Deal with it. It's like, why don't we legally accept those bonds as families that are supported as families? The nuclear family is dead and gone in reality in terms of its benefits to society. It's like capitalism is regurgitating these oldest things that don't do anything, dude. And it's just like they just keep us back from progress of what's actually in our hearts. And that's the thing, is my process of healing with myself after becoming schizophrenic and coming to a place where I'm like coalesced enough to move past significant boundaries of my executive dysfunction and to not have my subconscious fighting me with any kind of delusion. I just had to accept that I don't care about possessing anyone. Like, I want to be possessed. And that's the thing, it's like, that's my vibe, dude. That's like, it's like, it's like, dude, you build your batting order around me is the rule, right? It's like, but that's the thing, it's like, I'm just not that busy of a person physically, but I'm the biggest busy person in my heart. So I'm just like, you give me your whole heart, do whatever you want, dude. And that's hot, because I'm still being honest about what I need, and I'm still being honest about what other people can have. And it should create a bond that is divine, right? Like, but in this world, it's just like the poly people are a cult, and they're just doing a quantity over quality sex thing, dude. And I mean, like, I slept with 2 poly people, and I felt like I was like, wow, I did tests, right? Like testing time, because it's just like petri dish. What the fuck? What am I doing? Ugh. Like it grosses me out to think about. They were the worst. Those are the, like, if somebody has really bad sex with me, they are actively sabotaging somebody who is highly intuitive and empathetic, and or it's just like the worst match in the world, right? But I'm just saying these poly people in Seattle have no skill, no skill. They're just mashing, dude. They're just like the worst mistake I ever made is I'm gonna gross myself out. I went on a date with a poly trans masculine, like non-binary person. I'm gonna scratch my nose. I don't know why. They were a because I want to talk about how they were just like a trans man, but they were kind of doing the line straddly thing where they're like, I don't know what I am. I'm all of it, but I'm a lesbian. And my mistake was listening to them on their first date, on our only date. I mean, at least they bought me the thing, right? Like that was nice. It was like, hey, I got my food paid for, but yeah, it was just sad because I like saw a trans masculine person who's kind of cool, but they were just talking to me about like other people they saw, and it was all sex. And I just like, the biggest mistake I ever made was saying yes when we were saying goodbye and they were like, can I kiss you? And I was like, okay. And it was the worst kiss ever. I was like, never live it down. It was just like, anyways, I was already never going to see that person again, and it's what I deserve. It's the last time I'll ever say yes to somebody to be nice when they ask me a question that I definitely want to say no to. Because yeah, no, they were just like clearly somebody that I wasn't into and was just the busiest person in the world. And then they're just like, why don't we just mash our mouths together? And it's just like, dude, their breath smelled so fucking bad, dude. And they're just like, there's just like no tact. Like there's just like no grace. It was just like, whatever. Like I can't even imagine how one could kiss that bad. That poorly. It was just like, ugh. It's just disgusting, dude. And I'm just like, what's wrong with you? And it's like, you're supposed to be like, people think poly people are out there like, oh wow, these poly people are so cool. They're out there, they're just like having all the best sex with all the other poly people, dude. It's like, no, dude. The people who are best at sex are just like, dude, I found my person and we got it, and we're gonna find other people who are good too. They don't go around mashing with all the idiots who are in the poly cult that are just like, I'm autistic. Like everybody in the poly cult's autistic, and this is what drives me crazy. I grew up befriending autistic people. I always loved people who were on the spectrum for how they were left out. I was left out, and so I would make my most precious friends growing up were these really quiet, awkward kids that got made fun of, and I would just find them and treat them like a human. And I've made friends who are clinically of Asperger's, right? And they were like, I am not autistic. Autism is something very, very, very incapacitating. And I have Asperger's. I'm on the autism spectrum, right? But it's like, there's a clear difference. And there's literally people nowadays that are just like, dude, I'm autistic. I don't feel like doing anything about like being better. I just want to accept everything bad about myself as a root dysfunction of my autism. And it's basically like I have attention deficit disorder because I don't take care of my body. I don't take care of myself spiritually or mentally or physically, and I'm staring at phones all day, and it's ruined my memory and it's ruined my ability to focus or care. And I'm just going to pathologize it as something that's never going to change so I can feel good continuing to stare at my phone all day, every day, just like living in the feeds and then being like, it's cool, I'm autistic, dude. So anyways, be poly, but do it right. Just like love your people in the way you're supposed to and find your good matches. Fuck it up, dude. Let's fuck it up.